Hi! So I thought we'd do something a little bit different for Easter. I was eating a packet of M&Ms and I thought, why not do an M&M bunny? I've come in here with Glitterbels coloured acrylic honey and I'm just patting it into place to make an egg shape or an M&M shape. My first layer was just for me to get my shape, and then I come in with a second bead of acrylic just to build the height, and obviously so I can round it to make it look more realistic. So again, just patting it all into place with the belly of my brush. I come in here with Snowdrops White and I'm just using the Glitterbels 3D brush to pat that into the right shape. Come in with a second one, create the eyes, just trying to get them quite even. I did have to add a little bit more acrylic to this eye because it was a little bit smaller. And now I'm coming back in with honey again just to create the eyelid. When using acrylics for 3D work, it is best to work fairly dry so that it's not running all over the place and you've got better control over it. Here I'm coming in with carbon black just to create the eyebrow. Just going really careful with this because it's so pigmented and I'm putting on top of a light colour. I don't want it to run or stain the other colour, so just keeping it as dry as possible where I can still work with it. Creating that second eyebrow, which is actually a little bit of a different shape to the other one. Now I'm using honey to create the mouth. Just popped it across and then I'm blending it into the rest of the face. It's almost seamless, it's just one bit. So I'm using the very tip of my brush here to create the crease mark. Although my acrylic was drying quite fast, I had to come in with my craft knife just to help me out a bit. Again, adding a bit more acrylic to make it all blend in together. So it doesn't look like there's just a mouth stuck on there. Adding more acrylic where needed, just to make it so it all blends in together. Looks a little bit like a duck at the minute. In hindsight, I'd have probably should have created the mouth whilst the body was still wet, and I could have actually just worked into that rather than building on top, but never mind. Now I'm using creme brulee to create his arms. So doing that in 2 pieces and just blending them both together. Just popping a little bit more there just to blend them together. Then I also use Snowdrops White to create his hands. And now I'm going on to do his little legs, which are quite bird. And then again Snowdrops White to create the shoes, I guess. In between all of this, I did, as you can see, go in with my e-file just to smooth some areas off if they didn't look so smooth, or to straighten areas, etc. You can do that along the way, you know, if your line's not perfect or you want something a bit smoother, just go in with your e-file. Now I'm using Pink Martini here to create the inside of his bunny ears. So I'm just using the Bellamy brush just to pat down that middle bit to give it some depth. This side I decided to just go halfway because I wanted his ear to flop over. Snowdrops white around the edge to create the rest of the fair look, I guess, around the ear. Again, in hindsight, I don't know why I didn't put the white down first and then the pink on top, but I like to make things difficult, obviously. I'm just creating the ear on this side so it looks like it's flopping over. And just lifting it up so it's not stuck to the nail bed. Again, just giving it a bit more of a 3D look and depth to it. Now I realised I placed him in the middle of the nail and he was kind of just floating, so I wasn't happy with that, so I decided to do lots of little M&Ms that he was standing on top of. And then halfway through again, changed my mind and I thought, oh, I fancy doing a couple that have been cracked open. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just using hot chocolate to make that chocolate looking bit in the middle. The blue is Shark and the red is Red Light District. Now I'm coming in with Glitterbels Gloss Black and I'm just creating his little pupils on his eyes, which just instantly bring him to life. And then again here I'm using white gloss to create the M sign on his belly. And just using the Glitterbels Farm Liner brush. I also used, going back to his body, a little bit of citronella just to add a bit of shading around above his mouth and in between his eyes. And on his belly, just again to give him a little bit more depth, just so he wasn't just one plain colour, so a bit of shading. And that's him complete. I hope you like it.